But we're going to begin with a shocking double murder in rural Arizona. Among the dead, a 29-year-old father. But the worst part about it is that the suspect is his own son. He is only 8 years old. The boy is due in court later today. The latest now from NBC's Chris Jansen.
The usually quiet small town of St. John's, Arizona has been shaken to its core.
I know a lot of kids that know him, and a lot of kids in the community, including mine, have been crawling in bed with their parents at night, and for me, that's kind of where I want my kid.
Police charged that last week in this unassuming house, a third grader gunned down his 29-year-old father, Vincent Romero, and a 39-year-old friend who was renting a room from him. A .22 caliber bullet hole in the front door, testimony to what the police chief says was a chilling, premeditated crime.
The 8-year-old planned this. He methodically carried this out pretty much execution style.
The question is, why? The boy, now in a juvenile detention facility, has no history of trouble at home or school. And a cousin says father and son were close.
It was good. His dad took him everywhere. He's a great dad. It's just, that's why we don't understand.
At the Catholic Church, where Romero's funeral will be held on Tuesday, parishioners and the pastor are heartbroken.
I think there's a fund for both families. Excuse me, at the bank. I just can't talk too much. I'm sorry.
Guns are not uncommon in rural towns like St. John's, and Romero was reportedly teaching his son to hunt. Now their next-door neighbor is having a hard time explaining to her own children how things all went so wrong.
All they've said is, he was a good boy, Mom. Why did he do that to his dad? He was a good boy. And there's no answers.
For today, Chris Jansen, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Roy Melnick is the St. John's, Arizona Police Chief. Chief Melnick, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
A very difficult time in your town, and we're very aware of that and sorry about the loss of these two individuals. Can you tell us the latest on this case, where it stands?
Well, where it stands now is the juvenile was ordered to be detained by the court at the last hearing on Friday, and that we did have a legal basis to detain him, and probable cause was found to bring the charges.
And my understanding is that he will be tried as a child if indeed he is found competent to stand trial?
Well, yes, he appeared in the juvenile court Friday, and that's where we brought the charges at this point.
Chief, do you have any idea why this little boy would have done this? Any theories at all?
Well, that's what's puzzling to us, because he has a good record in school. We have two school resource officers in school, and there's no indication, there's no record of any problems in school. We don't have any reported abuse at home. So it's puzzling. It's probably one for the health experts to figure out.
You know, St. John's is a small town, about 4,000 people, I believe. Its motto, this town of friendly neighbors, or the town of friendly neighbors. How are people there coping with this?
Well, everybody here is heartbroken. This is something we didn't expect, but we are a close-knit community. A lot of friends and neighbors have pulled together, and we'll just have to get through this tough times.
Chief Melnick, I appreciate your time this morning, sir, very much. Thank you.
Okay.
And now let's bring in Roy Black, a noted criminal defense attorney. Good morning to you, Mr. Black.
Good morning.
What is your take on this case? This little boy, from what we understand, if he's found competent, will stand trial for premeditated murder, 2 cases of premeditated murder. Do you think that is the right course?
No, I don't. And I don't think the law is going to put him on trial. It's pretty clear that children that young simply are not able to comprehend the legal system. They can't work with their lawyers. They don't understand what's going on. And there have been a number of cases with children, even older than this child, where the court has found them developmentally incompetent to stand trial, meaning they don't have a mental disease, but they're just not at an age or maturity to understand what's going on.
So is the court then just going through the motions by ordering this competency exam?
No, the court has to order a competency exam because there's no right line. We don't say children of a certain age can't be put on trial, but almost always children this age are found incompetent to stand trial. And in Arizona 2 years ago, 2 10-year-old boys were found incompetent to stand trial for the sexual assault of a 4-year-old. So there's a lot of precedent out there that this child's not going to be able to go to a trial.
You know, investigators will be looking at everything in trying to figure out why this boy killed these 2 people, allegedly killed these 2 people. If they find evidence of abuse. How will that play out?
Well, I think that when you get to the facts like that, it'll be hard. You know, they're going to have to make a tough decision as to whether to go ahead. Usually children this young do not commit a crime or an act like this unless there's abuse involved. How could an 8-year-old ever come to think about killing somebody? Usually there has to be a reason, a motive. Something horrific must have happened to them to cause them to do something like this. So the first thing we look at is abuse.
But if the child is not found competent to stand trial, what will happen to him?
Well,
where does he go?
Well, they can find him dependent. They can't find him delinquent, which is a criminal act, but dependent, which means that the state is going to have to take over and supervise him, either put him in a home somewhere, put him in a foster family, because what can they really do with him? Can they put him in a prison? Can they put him in a juvenile jail? What do you do with an 8-year-old child? You're going to have to put him in a home somewhere under supervision and, supervise him in that way.
A very sad story all the way around. Roy Black, thank you so much.
Thank you.